Welcome to Tea with Tori. I'm your host, Tori, and today the tea is hot.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to Tea with Tori. I'm your host, Tori. If you don't know who I am, then you are probably living under a rock. Today, I have a very special guest today. I have Mars here. Mars, let the people know who you are if they don't know who you are, and let them know who you are a little bit better if they do know who you are.
Hello. I'm Mars. You can find me on social media at eatwithmars_. I am an OnlyFans content creator.
I love your face wins before it's I am.
I know. I'm always so weird and hesitant to talk about who I am or what I do for work because I'm just
in your public job.
Yeah, I'm just I just exist. That is my job.
No, that's kind of what influencing is, though.
Exactly.
In the most basic form, it's existing and getting paid to share your intimate existing moments with the world.
Yeah, exactly. So I do that. I'm working on my website and more food-related content, trying to, shift what I do to not just be adult content. But that's definitely mainly what I do.
Right now.
Oh, yes. For now.
Have you started, I know you were talking about for a second working on an ebook.
Yes.
For dietary nutrition stuff.
Yes, so it is a beginner's guide to meal prepping, which it honestly primarily focuses on meal planning because it's such a huge component of, doing the food, making the prep, right? So basically I put together a PDF document with all sorts of resources to just kind of simplify the process, along with a worksheet. Well, there's actually 2 worksheets. One to help you go over just your inventory in your kitchen. What do I actually have? Because a lot of the times I feel like we don't think about it or take inventory of what we have in our kitchens, and we're just wasting food or not really utilizing the food that we do have. So that's just one way to save money. But and then from there to actually just plan it out so when you are actually taking the time to prep this food, you're going to be utilizing a lot of these same ingredients. So it's actually less work. Right.
That's cool.
Yeah. So I just, try to put together some resources. I added a website to help you if you're overwhelmed and just don't know what the heck to plan. You could go on there and they actually will put together a little meal plan for you. It's really cool. But yeah, so I released that on my website recently.
Okay, cool.
I'm working on building some promo for it and that sort of stuff. But yeah, I mainly do that on my OnlyFans because I have 2 accounts, and on my free account, which is Eat with Mars, it's food related, and so a lot of people were asking me about meal prepping and meal planning. So I just wanted to make something for them, and I think ebooks are just super easy to use, super affordable, and just...
It's also a really good way of passive income.
Exactly. Yeah. I just don't want to make meal plans for people because I think it's important for us to be self-sufficient and figure it out for ourselves and to learn. I think it's important. So I just want to give people the tools to learn and figure out what works for them because there's so many different types of meal prepping and meal planning. It doesn't even have to be the same thing all week. I'll prep for maybe 3 days at a time just because I'm so, I'm not going to want to eat the same thing. Or if I, decide today that I'm going to want lasagna on Friday, on Friday I might not want lasagna.
Yeah.
And I don't want to waste food. So I'm just, I try to be, a little spontaneous with it. But, being at least semi-prepped is, my personal take on it. So I just wanted to give people the tool to either to kind of explore that, and I just hate having to fit inside of a label. If you're a meal prepper, you must do it all the gym people on Instagram, which is so not true. Because I think it's so intimidating.
It really is. It's here's a picture of barely cooked broccoli, some brown rice, and grilled chicken with only salt and pepper on it, and you're who the fuck would want to eat that?
No, exactly. And if you're making that for 7 days, no,
first of all, stuff's only supposed to be in the refrigerator for 4 days.
Exactly.
So that's not even okay. You should not be doing that.
Not
period.
Not that far ahead. You better be making sure you eat all that food too, because I feel guilty.
So how did you get into diet and nutrition?
So this is actually something I've been interested in since high school.
No way.
Yeah, I've always been interested in food. Like growing up, I've cooked with my family. I love eating, so like that's a big part of it.
I love eating.
I love eating. And from there, the main, actually, like the way I learned about dietetics and like the whole field becoming a registered dietitian is my senior year of high school. We had to do a senior project, and it had to be like about a career that we wanted to get into. And I was like, I have no freaking idea
what I want to do.
Yeah, I have no idea. So
maybe food.
I'm like researching. I'm like, I like chemistry. I like science. I like food. Those really kind of go hand in hand. And so at the time, like I found it was like a nutritionist, which is like not legit if you ask a registered dietitian.
Yeah, that I learned the hard way.
Yes, it's not legit. Like, yeah, it's just
like anyone can be a nutritionist. Anybody. You can just like go online and buy a nutritionist
You don't
class.
even have to do that, to be honest. That like technically anybody can call themselves. I mean, I think it depends on the state you live in, so don't quote me there.
Do your homework.
But yeah, so just be careful. A registered dietitian and RD is official. They go through a good amount of schooling. They do an internship. They do all that. So basically I did my project on this, and then I decided I'm going to go to college and do that.
That's cool as hell.
Yeah. And so I went to college and did that and said, fuck this industry. Like, it's not horrible. I just hate the medical field.
No, seriously. All pharmaceutical companies are just...
The pharmaceutical, the doctors, the politics within it all. Just like a lot of registered dietitians don't really get respect from MDs because they think that they know more or better when they're actually not even trained in nutrition. Like, that's not on the MCAT.
That's the crazy thing is, like, I was reading, it's called, what the hell is it called? I think it's called How Not to Die or something like that. I'll figure it out and put it in something that has to do with this episode. But it says in it that like 6% of what they learn in school is nutrition when you're like going to school to be a doctor. And I'm like, what? That's like literally the most important thing to keep your body healthy is nutrition.
Literally. And I mean, they're learning like biochemistry, which is related to nutrition and that sort of thing. But like, it's crazy. Like, the depth that we go into in nutrition. And there are different types of nutrition programs. Like mine was specifically, what was it? It was nutrition and dietetics with a option in food administration. Whereas like there's other ones that are more like agriculture based or whatever. But yeah, I just didn't see myself going that route. Specifically, like I did all the schooling, which was tough. That was a journey. But after you do the schooling, there's a whole internship. And my issue with this, like, okay, I think an internship is awesome and important. However, most of them, one, it's super competitive. Only like 50% of applicants get in. Oh, damn. Yeah, like it's brutal because there's just not enough internships. Spots, yeah, there's just not enough. It's a growing field, so that's pretty cool. But most of them are 10 months. You have to pay for it. And they expect you not to work because it's basically full time. It's like school and work combined. And the only way you could actually get financial aid for this internship is if you do an internship and a master's combined program with the school. All this to not really get paid that much unless you're managing a bunch of people. Honestly. Like, I wanted to work in the community, like, section of it, and like I'm making more money now than doing that.
So that's when I'm like, why the fuck go to college?
Yeah, and I still have my college debt. Hey, not very much, but it's there. It exists.
It's there. You're not in the field. You're still paying for the debt for being able to be in the field. I mean, you're still kind of using it. So how do we get from dietetics? I said dietetics. It right? Fuck yeah. I was like, that's a cool ass word. I want to put that in my vocabulary.
It's a tough word, yeah.
How do we get from dietetics and nutrition to adult content
So while I was in college, so I moved to Long Beach at 19. I went to community college for a long ass time, part-time. Finally got into Cal State Long Beach, but during that time I started modeling for fun. And eventually, like it became more of a nude art type thing. And like that's kind of, I feel like, how I ventured into the OnlyFans realm.
You went like small town girl goes to big city, starts naked modeling.
Basically, yeah. But like for me, it wasn't. I was just so naive too. Like I didn't even think about it. I'm just like, these are some badass photographers I'm working with. Like,
well, how'd you wind up moving here?
Well, my grandma passed away, and my dad and my stepmom were about to get a divorce. I didn't really feel like I wanted to be at my mom and my stepdad's house at the time. And so I just basically said, deuces. And I just dipped the fuck out.
Oh my God.
I just dipped out. I got back together with my high school sweetheart. We came out here together. Like my grandma died in March. I was out here by July. My high school sweetheart and I broke up New Year's Eve that year.
Oh shit.
Yeah, this is actually my 10th year in Southern California. I'm so fucking... Yeah, I'm going to be 29 this year. Yeah, wow.
Is New Year's still weird?
No. It like...
You didn't let him fuck it up?
No. It was for the better. That's all I have to say. And I kind of knew it then. It was scary being alone and being out here, but... It was getting to the point where he was like, don't wear low-cut t-shirts type shit.
Oh, so he definitely would not be okay with the current career
path.
Oh,
no, he's probably like, what the fuck is she doing? Like, who knows? I don't even know what's going through this guy's mind. Like, he has a kid, like, married.
Oh, wow.
Dope-ass tattoo artist. So if he sees this, kudos.
Good job with the tattoos.
You're like, yeah, he's always been a dope artist, so...
Good job being a high school sweetheart, too.
But yeah, so that, it just kind of slowly escalated. Like, in my mind, I'm always like, I'm doing it for the art. But I also just saw these, like, badass women posing nude. And, like, a lot of the photographers I worked with did some, like, amazing, beautiful, like, really cinematic shots. Mm-hmm. And I just didn't really give a fuck. Like, it helped me build my confidence. It made me feel good. And I got to meet like a lot of other women through it because like we would do group shoots too. And it was just so funny because a lot of these women were like either cam girls or strippers. And I'm just like, oh, I'm a bud tender. Like, I don't know. It's just, again, so
naive. This is pre-OnlyFans. Yeah. You're like, I'm just a bud tender.
And then at that time, like, or shortly after, Patreon became a thing. Mm-hmm. And I was on Patreon with my art.
You did Patreon before OnlyFans. I didn't even know that.
Yes, I was on Patreon. The whole tiered thing, like, I had people, it was too much, I think.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot to, like, I feel like OnlyFans is way more meant for, like, the person-to-person relationship versus, like, being subscribed to, like, a service.
No,
I feel
for
like Patreon
sure.
is, like, a service.
Yeah, like, I actually know, well, I don't know, but, there are some podcasts who will do, like, they'll have a Patreon. So, like, maybe they only release X amount of content, but they'll put, like, their extras on their Patreon. Or, like, kind of like astrology type people in their podcasts. Like, they'll do that, too.
Oh, yeah, 100%. They'll do, like, chart readings and shit and, like, a whole bunch
There's this one girl, Jessa Reed. Do you know her? She's kind of out there. But she's very interesting. But, like, she's like, yeah, I don't know when I'm going to do my podcast again. Like, whenever the fuck I feel like it. She's like, but if you want the updated stuff, check out my Patreon.
Oh, my God.
Like, she's just totally, like, degaff. And it's hilarious.
I used to watch Water Baby Tarot all the time. And then she moved to Patreon. And I was like, damn it. She was doing, like, full fucking, like, hour and 20-minute readings for each sign every month.
Oh, my gosh. That's a lot of work.
It's, like, 12 hours of readings. It's insane.
Yeah, she should be charging.
Yeah, I was like, it makes sense. And I definitely paid it for a while, but then I just realized, like, I was watching it on YouTube and I didn't watch it on Patreon.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, going on Patreon is weird. Like, I don't know. Like, people have to like going on to the
Patreon,
actual
yeah.
platform, you know, like OnlyFans does so well because it's like user friendly, and XYZ just kind of like Instagram, you know, like whatever. Or
Do you have any horror stories as far as being in the LA modeling scene as a naive 19-year-old for the past 10 years?
yes. Yes, I think most women could say yes. And I'm like a woman who does not go out that often, but I still have been in those situations.
That's how I feel, dude. Like, I really don't go out that much. I'm like, how do I have all these stories? I never leave my house.
Like, for the women who actually go out and enjoy going out, like...
How many stories do y'all have?
But yeah, unfortunately, like, I've had... Like, before I don't even think I was nude modeling at this time. I was shooting with, like, a friend of a friend's ex-cop. He didn't want to tell me how old he was. He was, like, basically trying to come on to me. He's Black and Asian, so he looked very young. And, yeah, he's like, women always, like, basically reject him when they find out his age because he's, like, 40-something, and he's talking to 20-something-year-olds.
Oh, duh.
Yeah, I'm like, sir.
Creep.
Sir. But, yeah, no, during our shoot, okay, he was wearing, like, short shorts, like... He was totally born in the 80s or like past the 80s, you know what I mean?
Like he was wearing the short shorts and he was like comfortable in it.
No underwear while we're shooting. Dick gets hard, pops out the shorts because they're so short. Yes. And then he did proceed to come on to me. And got the fuck out of there. I did hang out with him one time after for some free sushi. I was young and broke. Okay. Sometimes you're just like, okay, public place.
You're gonna pay for my food.
Like, I at least deserve this after what I went through. That's like, and then I just ghosted him forever. I'm like, you're a creep. Nobody work with this man, please. Also, another friend of a friend, wasn't even shooting with him, says, hey, come out. I want you to meet this other cannabis chick. I'm like, okay, that's like one way. I don't even want to say this. That's like one way to get me out of the house. I'm like, cool, cannabis chicks. Love that.
Literally, though, same.
Like, hey.
I'm like, if she smokes weed,
I'm like, cool.
I'll be there.
I'm like, that's dope. She works in weed. Okay. We like go whatever to a hotel. It's super chill. Then we go to a club, which I don't even do. I'm like, why am I here? And then we're like at his house. And then next thing I know, he's like trying to make out with my ass. And I'm just like, no. And I like leave, obviously, immediately. But again, friend of a friend. Weird things. Like, I don't know if I'm just like too nice and people think they could just like try me. But yeah, just like strange. I mean, there's been definitely more strange things. I could talk forever about it.
I mean, I'm like, say whatever you want, just don't name names.
No names will be named.
No names will be named.
No. But yeah, just weird things. I feel like, you know, just a common thing in general in LA is men wanting to talk business with you and then immediately trying to make it intimate. Like, literally, I've had a man try to kiss me, and I'm like, bro. You're
supposed to be talking about
like we're
business.
Here to talk business. And I've had so many like friends go through that too, and it's just like
I've
such a shitty feeling as a woman. You just feel so like used.
I had this dude that literally kept hitting me up and like asking to take me out to dinner, asking me to take me out to coffee, blah blah blah. Finally, after like probably 8 to 10 times of like him asking, I was like, like just stopped, like started ghosting him instead of like making up excuses. And then he was like, I'm just trying to like help you with your career and you keep dodging me, blah blah blah. And I was like, oh, I didn't know this was a business meeting. Like, that's totally different. Like, when do you want to grab lunch? And he's like, oh no, I'm trying to grab dinner, like so we can get some drinks. I'm like, oh, I don't drink when I have business meetings, like really, especially with men that I don't know. So, and what business would you like to talk? Like, let me make sure that like my assistant's available, blah blah blah. And he was just like, oh, this is getting very official. I'm like, it's supposed to be because it's business, bitch. The fuck is wrong with you? Clearly you weren't trying to do business.
No.
There's so many ways to like, that I've learned how to like temperature check and see if someone's doing business, but that's come from so many times of like getting into a situation that's like, this isn't business.
For sure. And it sucks when you're like just riding that like hope sometimes. You're just like, you get so hopeful and you're like, well, maybe this will be different. And you're just like,
And it's not different.
It's
and
usually
it's the
not.
same. I feel like there's a lot of like in LA, I think it goes for both men and women, because I've heard like guy friends. I worked in catering that was like model catering. So it was all like agency models and actors. So I heard all the sugar baby stories from the men and from the women. So I think it's very much a thing in LA to like take advantage of like the young and naive.
For sure.
Because it's such a transient place. Like, how long will this young naive person really even be here? Like, will they be here for long enough to even like
True. That's so true.
complain about anything I do?
Well, and just like, I mean, even thinking about like just young stars in Hollywood too, like Drew Barrymore, like
all the Disney kids.
Like, they went through some shit.
Literally.
Like,
100%. If you
we're
listen to like
treated
any
like
documentary.
adults, you know, at a very young age. Like, I just can't imagine.
No.
But you're totally right. Like, it's tricky, you know, in LA, because everyone is here for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just kind of like New York. Like, you're here to hustle. You're here to make it. You're here to
Do something
to
with yourself.
fucking like build, like become an actress or whatever the fuck. And so
You're
when
here
everyone
to blow up.
it's like when everyone knows that you're here or want or need something, like, it's easy to take advantage of people.
Because you can prey on people's dreams.
Mm-hmm.
And people do a lot for their dreams.
Dude, fuck yeah.
People will do some crazy things. I've done some crazy things, like just to be like, no, it's gonna work. I swear, it's not gonna be like that. I swear. And it was super like that. And
Yes.
I just feel like anytime you get into a situation where you're like, fuck, you just really have to like slow down and take a second and be like, okay, how did I get here? Why am I here?
Yeah.
And what am I supposed to be learning? Because you can really get caught up in the like, I just got fucking played.
Totally.
And that's not just like in business shit. That's in relationships too. Like that,
Yes.
LA is so shitty for dating.
So
New York
shitty.
was so shitty for dating. I've only lived in like the two worst places for dating. Like, I happened to find a rare gem under a bridge, but like literally the worst cities for dating, because you don't come to LA or you don't go to New York to date. Or
Yeah, or
like
find
get
love.
married
Yeah.
and find love. It's where you go to pop off to like make all your money so you can go retire wherever the fuck you want to retire, or
Yeah.
to retire there but like still Malibu
Yeah, no, exactly.
or like Temecula or something nice, close enough but still far away.
Yeah.
So how did you go from Patreon and like nude modeling and bud tending to I'm an OnlyFans girl, I'm making all my money here, like full bandwagon, no more accountant side job to like tell
So
people
funny.
that you do on the
Full
low?
full bandwagon. Okay.
Because when I met you, you were the weed girl that just like took naked pictures for fun.
Yeah. That was like my little artsy stoner thing.
Literally.
Okay, so what the fuck? Like, let me think about this. COVID. When did COVID happen?
2020, March 2020.
Yes, 2020.
The fucking year.
At the time, I was not a bud tender, but I was still in the cannabis industry working as like a brand ambassador. And then like literally I started November 2019 and then COVID happened March 2020. And so I was just kind of like fucking chilling for a while there. And they eventually let me go, and I believe that was in April 2020. And literally they let me go like 2 weeks after I made my OnlyFans. And the only reason I decided to make my OnlyFans is because a friend was like, you gotta get on it. Like,
That's true.
like was like really pushing me, and I was like, fuck it. Like, I already have so much content, so many photos. Like, why not? Like, I was just like kind of already like annoyed by hearing about OnlyFans, because that's when it was first blowing up. Or
Everyone was talking about
like
it.
it was getting really big at that point.
It was like right before Beyonce sang about it.
Yeah, like it was all over my feed, because of course I follow a bunch of girls and have friends who
Swipe up
do that, you know?
for my exclusive content.
You know.
Swipe up.
Do it. But yeah, and then from there I was surprisingly able to support myself from just my OnlyFans, because, you know, majority of my Instagram followers follow me for my nude work. So,
anyway, yeah.
Yeah, like that was a majority of my followers and my following. So they were just like,
then you
fuck
took
yes.
it off. You took it off Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
Well, also Instagram got hella strict in December
Well, yeah,
2020.
and it's like a total, like, it just feels like so contradictive though, because like Instagram hates it, so you get punished for it. But then if I don't post it, I also get punished for it, because then
Your
I don't get
engagement's
the
down.
engagement.
Yeah.
So I'm just like,
what do you want from me?
I'm on TikTok now.
No, TikTok's really fun. I've like found the fun in TikTok.
Yes,
It took a second,
is.
but no, like
I think I'm gonna really, really like. I'm still getting comfortable with TikTok. I have fun with it, but I feel like I'm gonna get better at it.
same.
Like I want to start talking more. Like I noticed you've been doing it, and I think that's dope. And
I'm trying.
I want to like talk and show more of my personality and that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I try to go on lives, which can also be pretty fun.
No,
and
I need to
cool.
start going live on TikTok.
Well, and you know what's really neat is like if you go like say we're together and we're like working out or doing yoga and like we're both going live, like people will see that like we're in each other's lives and they'll be like, oh my god, because they'll just be swiping through the live thing and like they'll go and come across both of ours.
That's fire.
Mm-hmm. So there's like
Little tips and tricks you can
little
do.
things like I don't know, and there's like you can grow so fast on TikTok if you really try. Although they're saying to post 5 times a day now.
Yeah. Because it's getting so saturated.
But the thing is TikTok is only 5 years old, and like it's just still so new.
Mm-hmm.
It's still so new. I mean, think about it. YouTube is what, like 20 years old?
Mm-hmm. And then Instagram's like what? Probably almost 15.
Yeah. Because
I definitely did it sophomore year.
I had it in high school, but
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was just an editing app at first.
I definitely thought it was an editing app and used it as an editing app.
And then you posted it and you were mortified?
There was a girl. There was a girl in my school. And the day that Instagram like was live, her nudes were live too.
Oh, no.
It was no bueno.
Yeah, I was so nice. I was so sweet when this first came out. It was just like probably MySpace type photos or something.
Is this straight
You know?
angle?
Yeah, like I definitely, yeah. It's like some weird shit, some like SF photos, thinking I'm super cool because Sacramento's not cool. So when you're in the Bay, you're like, woo!
I'm in the Bay.
Fuck yeah. It's way more lit than Sac. Sorry, guys. Sorry, not sorry.
Like, sorry, but that's the way it is.
I'm from there. I get to say it.
So what is your favorite shoot that you've done for OnlyFans?
That's tough. My favorite shoot for OnlyFans. Dude, I've done so many shoots.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like trying to think. I'm like, shit, I've done so
like
many.
running through it.
I'm like, it's like a shoot every other day.
Literally.
That's what it feels like. I'm not gonna lie. I think, okay, my most recently favorite, which is like still kind of rolling out, when Maureen and I were in Tampa, bro. We did some weird shit. That's all I have to say. And it's not like exactly what you're thinking, but it's like definitely
what you're thinking.
Yeah. But yeah, it was fucking hilarious. Dude, Isabel. That's all I have to say.
Oh my God. Oh Lord. Now I'm scared. You definitely need to click that link in her bio. If Isabel was involved.
Yes, Isabel was the director.
If Sexy Psychopath was directing.
She was the director. It was hilarious. It was a
she's
good
about
time.
to be my roommate. I'm so fucking
I
excited.
heard. I'm happy.
I'm so
I'm
fucking
like,
excited.
yay. I was telling her to come to California, and I'm happy she is.
Okay, what is the craziest message that you can talk about, obviously, that you have gotten on OnlyFans? You don't have to say if you responded or not.
The craziest message.
You were just like, oh my God.
Oh, I've got a few. Okay, people just in general that are located in the Los Angeles area trying to link up. That is kind of crazy to me, especially when they try to convince me with dick pics. But that is not the craziest. And one of these men was attractive, but I'm like, sir, you are a little crazy. So like I can't even pretend to go down this route. But no, the craziest or the most disturbing was a gaping butthole. A giant chubby man's gaping butthole. I've never seen anything like that before. And I never wanted to, but I unfuzzied the photo out of pure curiosity.
Oh no.
And sometimes I just want to see what it is.
Oh my
I'm kind of like a
God.
masochist, I think, a little bit when I do shit like that. But that was probably the most, like, I'm trying to think of other ones. That's probably the most weird. And the ongoing fantasy of fucking one of my subs' dads and talking about how his dad is way bigger and fucks me better.
That's fabulous.
He loves it.
Oh my God.
Yes, he loves it. I don't know.
I don't know.
I hope he's okay. I really do. But that is true. Yeah.
Wow. That's definitely,
interesting.
I didn't expect that.
It gets interesting. And I have a lot of feet people.
Mm.
I have a good amount.
Have you gotten your pedicures paid for before?
Yes.
Yes.
I have a guy who likes the hands too. He likes, he's like, have you got new nails yet? Like, can I see?
Oh my God. You're like, you can see if you pay for them.
Mm-hmm. I got you.
I got you with that first look.
Like,
that
you
first
could pick
look,
the
puppy.
color too, if you would like.
Oh my God.
I'm just saying, if they're really going to throw it out there, I'll let you pick the color. As
Well-
long as it's not like lime green.
Ooh. What would you say is your biggest tip to someone that's new to OnlyFans?
Ooh, new to OnlyFans. Excuse me. I was like, that was gross. Okay, for somebody who's new to OnlyFans,
Well, let's start from someone that is choosing between Patreon and OnlyFans because you did both.
Yeah, OnlyFans is obviously where it's at. You're going to get so much more traffic. And I think it's just like a great opportunity for growth. And especially because Patreon, I feel like, is geared much more towards art. And
Patron of the arts.
So like, and I'm not saying that you can't have art on OnlyFans, but like, if you want to be spread eagle and like really doing the damn thing, like OnlyFans, you're going to be able to do that. Patreon, they don't allow that. They like, I think you can have like closed legs, but I don't think it could be like open. It can't be like sexually explicit. It has to be like artistic.
So kind of like centerfold.
Mm-hmm. And so also just OnlyFans, you get to message people, and like that's where you're going to really get to connect with your audience, and you're able to send them content. And it's really nice because like having the paywall on certain messages, I think just makes it comfortable for each party because they know that they're going to actually get a photo and you actually know you're going to get paid. Because I know like sex workers before this, if you were just on Snapchat or doing whatever the heck, I don't know, you could totally get like scammed by somebody. So I really like that, just like protection. But I mean, just in general, if you're going to go on social media, if you're going to go on OnlyFans, just like be authentically you. Like, yes, I do have like my sexy side, but I also have my goofy side, and I show that all together. And that's something that like my subscribers really like and like resonates with them. So being like authentically you instead of putting what you think people want to see or whatever, I think will just work a lot better. Like whether you're a dominatrix or you're submissive, you know, like just play into your strengths. And, you know, sometimes it's fun to go outside of them and do something different, you know, nothing wrong with that.
Switch it up, change
but
it up.
like, just, yeah, play into like who you are and what's the most comfortable for you, because it's supposed to be empowering, you know, like sometimes people could get pushy and bossy on there. Like you don't have to do what they want or say. You get to set the terms and the rules and decide what's available for purchase or what you're willing to do. So like, just like remember that, like you're the one in charge when it comes to OnlyFans.
100%.
Like,
How have you dealt with relationships, platonic, friends, family, significant others when it comes to OnlyFans? And your nude modeling in general, because I can't imagine that your family was all too happy in the beginning of that.
my family is actually like, okay, like, I mean, I never told my dad. He found it.
Look away. Oh no, he knows now.
Oh, he's seen it. He found
it.
my Instagram like before I think I even had an OnlyFans, which was
Before
when it was crazy.
Ooh, it was popping.
Yeah.
If you knew Mars, you knew that like she was the girl that was naked on Instagram, and when I say naked, she was like naked. Like the pussy was just blurred.
It was there. It was out. But yeah, like she was said hello.
She did.
Yeah, so my dad definitely saw it, but like our relationship's always been weird, so I don't know, like
didn't really affect
never
you.
really dealt with that, didn't really care. I'm just like, he always had nudie fucking calendars and clocks and shit. And so I'm just like, that's probably part of why I am the way I am.
You inspired me, Dad.
I saw titties. So many titties.
No, that's part of my thing too, is like my dad's in fashion, so I had like fine art nude like books all over my house. So I'm like, nudity is art.
Literally, like,
because it is actually.
It is.
I always say like you can be naked and it not be sexually explicit. Sometimes it's just art. You can be naked and be sexually explicit. Most people are, but
they're not mutually exclusive.
No.
But my mom, like, she was a bit shook at first. She was like, oh, but she's also just like really dramatic and grew up Catholic. But whatever. She's fine. When I was shooting nude, I was showing her all my nudes. I was like, did you know my ass looked like that, Mom? Like, what the fuck? I didn't.
You made this.
I didn't know it looked like that back there. I was so surprised.
My humps.
I said, hey. So my mom has always been like, I wouldn't like really say like excited about it, but she's been like relatively supportive. I'm like, I'm not here on earth or like whatever. I'm not here in this life to follow the rules. Like I feel like when I started nude modeling is when I was like, I could be sexually provocative, I can be attractive, and I can still be intelligent, and I can still, you know, do all these things that people feel like hot women can't do, or like sexual women can't do.
No, I love that.
Or whatever the fuck it is. So I'm just like, I'm here to challenge that. Like, I want to make people uncomfortable.
I love doing it. I love to make people uncomfortable.
I'm like,
based off of things that like they know that they should be comfortable with. Like I'm like, oh, are you bothered by something you should be okay with?
Like, yeah, like you.
Oh,
if you confront them about it, they're just like, because they know you sound stupid. Like
your reason is stupid.
Challenge your your problematic beliefs. We all have them. That's okay. But like, do the work. It's continuous. It never ends. Just keep doing it though. Like I promise.
We are all raised with like certain ideas and certain things placed on us, and society does its own job of placing its own ideals and like things on us. So you really have to think like, do I actually feel this way, or is society like telling me to feel this way? And 9 times out of 10, if society's telling you to feel that way, it's so they can make some money off of you in a different way to make you not that way.
Or just like your parents' belief system that you never questioned and you just adopted because that's what we do. We just we typically adopt our family's belief system. And like, if you haven't studied philosophy, like look into skepticism. That is a form of philosophy. I think it is something that we should all like learn about, because there is, I mean, like skepticism within reason, of course. Like, it's just good to question everything, like people's motives, whatever. I mean, you don't want to become a crazy person, like I said, within reason. But like, you can't just also be naive and just, I mean, you can, but personally, I think it's a lot nicer not to be. Like, I like to reason with myself and decide my own values and beliefs. Like, and I think my parents respect me a lot more because of that, because, you know, I will challenge them, which is sometimes annoying, but
necessary.
Exactly. I'm like, Mom, I know you're older, but
really think about like why you think this.
Like, come on. Come
here, let me talk to you for a second.
Come here.
Let me talk to you about this for a second.
But yeah, and I think the second part, when I got on OnlyFans, didn't tell my dad I got on OnlyFans. My mom's super cool. Like, my parents, like my mom and my stepdad are just like, we're so fucking proud of you. Like, you're doing your thing. Like, you're living your life. Like, we're old. We're fucking tired. We worked forever. Like, do the fucking thing, because Like,
you will be old and tired one day.
You know what I mean?
And not
like,
be able to do the fucking thing.
They always worked 9 to 5s. They had
Mm-hmm.
kids at a young age. Like, they didn't really get to pursue, I mean, they didn't have the internet in the same way like we have it to pursue and do whatever the fuck they want to do. And so they think it's like so dope that I'm in a position that I'm in right now. Last like time I talked to my dad and he saw I got a new car, he was just like, "Oh, you're selling pussy." And I'm like, actually, no. I am not.
You're like, not in the way that you're thinking.
And I'm like, no, not really. But I mean, in a man's mind,
Yeah.
I guess so.
Is that translated to your romantic life in any way?
Oh, okay. Well, okay. So platonically, I feel like OnlyFans is like just help me like gain more girl friendships. I just want to throw that out there.
Same.
More girl friendships. I think just like more girl love, and I'm totally loving that, especially as I get older.
I've never met as like nice and welcoming and non-problematic women as I've met in like the sex workspace. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we've all been judged. Like, we've all been there, and I think when you've been through that, you get it. And it's just like, it's tough because I know myself and a lot of women have issues dating because of it. You know, like, it's
especially the further you go on there.
Yeah, it's tough, you know, like, whether you're just doing the girlfriend experience, whether, you know, you're doing full-on porn, sex, whatever, it definitely, it makes it tricky, you know? It makes it tricky just because you want to make your partner feel special. But at the same time, it's like you need them to understand that this is just like, yes, this is me, but this is also like, I view this as a job. And you get me in real life. Like,
not everyone gets that.
Yeah, I'm like, you understand that. Like, you're focusing, like, I feel like you're focusing on the wrong thing.
Yeah.
Because, like, if I'm spending all my time with you, what the fuck?
Yeah.
So it's just, I'm still figuring out how to navigate the romantic world while doing this. I mean, when I was doing my nude modeling at the time, that is kind of when I was like at an in-between with one of my previous exes. So I was like, I don't give a fuck what you have to say. But he wasn't into it. It's basically made most of the men I've dated insecure, which is like tough for me. And it makes it hard to do my, like, to do my job.
Yeah.
You know? And like, I don't want to have to, it just feels like the typical thing of like a woman having to choose between her job and a man.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like the new form of it.
Well, it's also, it's so
Like
weird
modern
because
day.
it's like, do they even consider it a job?
No, a lot of men don't. They're just like, you're lucky. You're attractive. Like, if I was a woman, I'd be busting it wide. So many men have said that. And I'm like, okay,
No, I've heard
if
that
you
so
were
many
a
times.
woman, if you were a woman, you wouldn't say that. I mean, some women
Exactly.
would say that, but like in general,
You wouldn't say it that way.
no.
I would be busting it wide. Like, no.
Like, you won't even bust it wide now. There's dudes on
There's
OnlyFans
plenty of
making
dudes
money.
on OnlyFans.
Bust it wide.
Would you
'Cause
date a
they
guy
want-
that does OnlyFans?
Oh, I don't know. Possibly. I mean, I don't know if I could date somebody who like necessarily does porn, because like I don't necessarily go that far. Like, I'm not fucking somebody on my page.
Mm-hmm.
Like, maybe if we were just fucking each other, I don't know if I even want to share that. I'm like, wait. But yeah, I don't know. Like, I'm supportive of men getting on OnlyFans, so I definitely would date someone who has one.
Your boundaries are just where your boundaries are at as far as
Yeah,
content.
I don't really know. It just like depends on the person, and you know, I would want to have that trust there, but I think it could be really cool because we would be able to collaborate together. We'd be able to do a bunch of stuff, and
Just like
I think
that
they could be really,
understanding, too.
yeah, like they could be really supportive. And I think there's like so many different things you could do on OnlyFans. You know, like you don't have to be putting it all out there if you don't want to.
Busting it open.
You might not make as much money,
That's what I tell
but
people all the time.
you could do it, and like you would be so surprised. Like, I feel like there's like kind of a missing market right now on OnlyFans, like in terms of like their OFTV of like kind of videos geared towards men, you know, like we should have some men dancing on there. We should have
men nutrition, men cooking.
Like we should have more men on there on the safe for work section.
Men need to be doing dating advice on there.
Dating advice. That's what I'm saying.
There's
like,
so many men on
there.
there.
We need like a hitch.
Bro.
We need like a hitch.
We need to
there.
have, I don't know if there's a men's OnlyFans agency yet, but we need
it. There needs to be boyfriend experience, because I'm telling you, there's women out there that
want that experience.
That want that. They just, you know, they want like a man to chat and listen. Just to like, you know.
There's a lot of
connection.
There's a lot of hot girls that would be up on there like,
dude, I know some hot girls who were like, I know a hot girl who said it, and I was like, she's so right.
So right. The boyfriend experience.
I never thought about that. There are girls who want to feel that, but don't necessarily want to be committed or don't have the time or whatever the fuck it is.
Or just someone to send your nudes to that you know won't leak them.
Yeah, like just to have some like maybe a little sexy time. Sexy time. I don't know.
Instead of sexting your ex, find an internet boyfriend.
Exactly. Like, fuck,
I had a friend that
Tinder.
was going to do his OnlyFans like that. He was going to make it your favorite internet boyfriend. He wound up not doing it. But I was like, that's such a good, like, that's such a good way to go about it, because there's so many bitches that would just love to, like, for the night, just have someone be like, oh, that's what you wore tonight? You look beautiful, babe. Like, blah, blah, blah. Like, I don't know how much they pay for it, but I know they would definitely pay something for it.
I'm just saying, you'd be surprised, like
how much positive,
like people pay to cuddle with other people, you know.
Oh,
what I'm
I know,
saying?
I
like,
saw that.
It's like the world we live, like
Human
just because
interaction.
you don't think it applies to you or people you know, like there's still people out there, like you'd be surprised.
That's what I say all the time. Like, think about all the products that are offered that you're like, I would never buy that. I don't know anyone that would buy that, but it's still a popular product.
Exactly.
So clearly, like Donald Trump, things are purchased.
Exactly. Well, and just like
you don't like.
Nobody wants to be lonely. You know, like that's like the way I think about it. If we can heighten connection, especially in a time during like, I mean, I know like COVID feels like it's over, but like I don't fucking know. We're like in a weird in between time. Like I know people are out and about, but also if you don't want to be out and about, if you can't, like whatever the fuck like life situation is, I just feel like it's a great way to help curb that like loneliness that people might be experiencing, especially now.
100%. I think that's why it popped off during COVID. Is a lot of people had no one to talk to, and just having someone there, period, regardless of who it was just nice to have someone to talk to all the time, all day, if that's what you wanted to do. And everyone just had this time to be on there and do that.
Yeah.
So now it's like you're a part of someone's life. Before, like in the beginning of COVID, it was like you were someone's entire life. Like you're on there all day.
No, for sure. And it's so funny because like I totally have like subs that I used to chat with a lot, and like some of them fizzled out, and I'm like, oh, I still remember so and so. You know what I mean? But
where'd you go?
I'm like, dang, I'm sad now. Oh fuck, I kind of got distracted. I like distracted myself.
I do that all the time. I literally have to rein myself back in.
I'm like, okay.
I'd be like, where'd you go with that?
What was I gonna say? I don't know.
Being on there all day during COVID.
Or being on there
and now
all
it's like
day
being
during
in someone's
COVID.
life, but not their entire life right now.
Oh,
You had subs that disappeared.
We were talking about like during COVID, it popped off because people were lonely. Oh yeah, okay, I remember now. And then okay, so people got on there because they're like lonely, whatever, COVID, you can't go out. But then fucking all of a sudden, like all their favorite influencers popped on OnlyFans, and it just
Literally.
like really popped off. I feel like, because they're like, oh, I follow so and so. Like, do they have an OnlyFans?
They do.
You know what I mean?
Literally,
Does my favorite creator have
no
one?
one's answering DMs. Like I've
Hell
never
no.
been up in my Instagram DMs just like answering people, but I definitely will be up on OnlyFans.
Well, dude, also, if you're like too active on Instagram, they think you're a robot. So
Literally.
like you can't.
You get like 200 likes a day or some shit like that. Like that's
it's
horrible.
Weird. It's so weird.
I definitely try to like more than 200 things. More often than not.
You're like, I'm double tapping everything.
I do, because like if I follow you, like I've basically said that I want to participate in your content, so I'm just gonna give you engagement.
Of course.
I'm not gonna be a ghost follower. I honestly want to go through my Instagram and delete any ghost followers.
It's so much work though.
That's the thing.
It's so much.
That would
You might be
literally
able to find someone to
so
do it
much
for
work.
you and pay them.
I'm sure there's an app.
Maybe, yeah.
An app for that.
Hopefully there's an app for that. If not, make an app for that, somebody.
I actually wanted to make an app where you could like log everything in your kitchen and it would tell you what you could make that night for
Dude.
dinner based on your kitchen.
That would be lit. I think they have, well, they don't really have it like that, but there's something kind of similar. Like
There's a few things kind of like it, but there's nothing exactly like that.
Well, I think it'd also just be nice to have inventory of your kitchen.
Mhm.
Like I was mentioning earlier, like sometimes I don't fucking know, or I go to the store and I be buying. It's just silliness sometimes.
Sometimes I will buy something. I literally have something fresh and unopened of. I buy it,
And
and then I have 2 fresh unopened versions of it.
Shit.
It's the worst.
Now
But
we have to
that's when
eat
I'm
double.
like, dude, I'm like, I have to clearly make something right now with this in the recipe, like heavy. Like I have so much fucking basil right now. I have no idea what I'm
make
gonna do with
pesto.
it. Oh, that's true.
Make pesto. Okay, make pesto. Pro tip: if you make it ahead of time, you can get like a ice cube tray or like a silicone mold, and then put it in there and then freeze it. And then you have like frozen pesto. You just thaw it out, fresh pesto. Oh my god! Because that way you don't have to eat all the pesto. Because whenever you make it, it's like always
So
a
much,
ton.
yeah.
But yeah, you could just freeze it. You can make pesto eggs.
I love
pasta.
pesto too. That's so
It's
smart.
delicious. Yeah, if you like want to put it on, I don't know, like a sandwich or something, like you could just
Like
take the
literally
little
anything.
cube or whatever, throw it in the microwave to defrost it,
Maybe
or
you have to throw some weed in there.
you could do that too.
Some can of oil.
Cannabis oil for sure.
That'd be fire.
She
Bro,
said,
can you tell
"Hey."
I'm high?
Trying
I'm
to
like,
get more high.
throw it in there. I'm like, oh, are we almost done with this? It's time for another
I
blunt.
know, we're hungry too.
I'm
We're like over
hungry and
here
I want a
talking about
blunt.
food.
But yes, okay. So let's do a little wrap up. What would you say is your biggest tip to anyone that's like on the cusp of like jumping into the nude modeling world?
Oh, it's so tough because my attitude is totally just like, fuck it. Like, if you want to do it, because I've been on sets for Penthouse where I've heard like the wardrobe and hairstylist being like, oh, I wish I did this.
Yeah.
You know, but like, obviously don't fucking do it if you want to like become a politician or something. Like, I feel like your future endeavors and like still kind of matter if you want to get into the nude world, because unfortunately in the time of the internet, like I feel like everything could come back to haunt you. So
100%.
like you have to be committed to being an entrepreneur, I think, and okay with being considered taboo. Because for me, it was so scary because I'm like, if I do this, like at the time when I had my weed job, I'm like, I'm trying to be legit and like professional and like
That went out the
whatever the
door with
fuck.
COVID. No one's professional
Yeah, who
anymore.
gives a
People have their
fuck?
fucking board meetings from their living room with their kid
Yeah.
crying in the back like
Literally.
it's over.
And then like that's when I like slowly like at first I was like trying to be on the DL about it, but I slowly like started to embrace it again. And I'm just like, this is a part of who I am. It keeps coming up, and it's something I'm good at. Whether or not you think it takes talent.
It does.
Okay.
Not
Okay.
everyone on OnlyFans makes money. Let's start there. Like, not
Yes.
everyone makes enough money and to support themselves, and not everyone on there makes money. So if you are making enough money to support yourself and some, like, you're successful.
And this is something that I feel like a lot more girls are finally talking about. Like, just jumping to OnlyFans thinking it's going to be easy. It's like, okay, before OnlyFans, girls were like, oh, I'm just going to start stripping. And like strippers would get offended because it's a fucking hard job. Being successful on OnlyFans is a hard job. People are like, how do you get subscribers? I'm like, I've built my following
Bro.
from nude modeling. Like that took me years to do that. And so like,
so the customers are there.
I don't
yeah.
even feel like it was easy for me. Like it still took work for me, you know,
Yeah.
like my subscribers fluctuate. Like I go through all these different things. But I just feel like you have to really like be confident and strong in who you are, because it's by no means easy. But I think it could be so fucking worth it if you like put your heart into it and can like find a way to have fun doing it, you know? Like I like that I get to wake up and decide what I get to do every day and the type of content I create. I just like, you know, you got to be confident in yourself if you're going to fucking do it. If you have any doubts,
Don't
like,
do it, honestly.
Yeah, I don't think it's worth it. There's so many other ways to like hustle and make money, and there's no point in like trying to
trauma.
Yeah, like don't try to fit a mold that doesn't work for you, you know?
Especially if you think it's easy, because it's not.
No, it's definitely not. Like it takes
time, man.
blood, sweat, and tears.
But yeah, let the people know where they can find you.
Okay. You can find me on, Instagram and TikTok at eatwithmars_. OnlyFans, I am at eatwithmars, no underscore. I know, it's stupid. And then I also have a premium OnlyFans, which is Eat Mars Premium. And my website, my ebook, all that shit I just said is linked on my website. So it's super fucking easy. Eatmars.com.
Dun, 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 dun. I'm Tori 212 Green on all platforms. Tea with Tori podcast on Instagram for this podcast. If you are listening, please rate it 5 stars and download it. If you are watching, like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you next Wednesday. Fucking car in the background. Fuck that shit. Thank you so much, Mars, for being here.
Thank you for having me.
I'll see you guys next Wednesday. Bye.
Bye. These are just LA noises.
Oh my God.
It's just LA. It's just LA. What can you do?
Overheard LA right here.